Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca and today we are cozying up with classics. So for my reading goals in 2021, I want to read 10 classics. Last year in 2020, I really got into a lot of classics. I read Pride and Prejudice for the first time and absolutely adored it. I read a lot of more modern classics like Sandra Cisneros, The House on Mango Street, loved it. I reread The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, which I originally read for summer reading in middle school, and I did not remember a lot of it. I just remember liking it, and so yeah, I reread that too. And I've really been enjoying getting back into like these classic books and classic authors, and also just like analyzing and annotating and just, feeling those literature vibes. So these are the 10 books that I'm really excited and really hoping to get to in 2021. Now, the first classic on this list is probably not going to be a surprise to anyone if you watched any of my content from last year, and that is Emma by Jane Austen. I watched the new adaptation last year and I loved it so much. When I finished watching the adaptation, I immediately wanted to get into the book, but I was in like a whole bunch of other books. So I decided to wait, and now I'm ready to read it. So yeah, Emma by Jane Austen, number 1. I am also hoping to do a reread of one of my, I don't know, like, would you call this a classic? How do you define classic, I'm gonna call it a classic. It's a classic fantasy novel. The author is someone who almost, just defined the whole fantasy genre at, his time. So I want to reread The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I love, love, love The Hobbit. So it's probably my favorite classic. And my next tattoo, whenever I save or make the effort to save money for my next tattoo, I really want to have a literary tattoo, and it definitely would be The Hobbit themed. Next up on my list is a book that I bought in 2020, and it was a complete cover buy. I have no idea what this book is about. I can only guess from the title, and that is A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce. This is the Centennial edition, and I really, really love the cover. The inside flaps are also really pretty. So I know this is Irish classic, James Joyce Irish. I'm gonna say yes. All I really know about it is like it's a coming of age story. That's my complete and entire knowledge of what this book may be about. I just really loved the cover. And the next book is a book that I actually started in 2020 and then did not finish because time eludes me. That's really all I can say. That is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. This is, of course, the book that was the inspiration by the Netflix adaptation, The Haunting of Hill House, which I have not seen and probably will not watch because I'm a chicken. I really liked what I have read so far, so I hope to finish it this year. So the next classic that I am really interested to read is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. This is on the Rory Gilmore Reading Challenge, so that'll check that off, but also Virginia Woolf is known for like the stream of consciousness, which I kind of hate because that kind of means like a paragraph that's like 100 pages long, but we'll see. I feel like Virginia Woolf was an interesting literary figure, and I think that I will be really interested in what she does with this. Another classic. This is the Classic Tales of Horror by Edgar Allan Poe, so it's just a collection of his short stories, and I would really like to read it this year, maybe in October, maybe during Halloween, who knows. I haven't read a ton of Edgar Allan Poe, so I would really like to read more of Edgar. And this is also, the next book is kind of like a modern classic. Oh! I got this copy used, and there's annotations in it. That's kind of exciting. Okay, didn't realize that. Super excited now. And that is In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. I don't know for sure, and I think it'd be interesting to learn about whether this was kind of like the first of the true crime genre, subgenre. I don't really know of any true crime before this, but also I'm not an expert in true crime. But yeah, so this is, if you don't know, it's about a family that gets murdered. Truman Capote reconstructs the murder and the investigation that led to the capture, trial, and execution of the killers. He generates both mesmerizing suspense and astonishing empathy. The next book on my list of classics that I want to read is The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. I am really interested in this because, first of all, The Phantom of the Opera is like my favorite all-time favorite musical. And I know it has nothing to do really with the book, but I kind of lost interest in reading it because I just thought it was going to be really dry. And then two YouTubers who I have followed this previous year, Carolyn Marie Reads and Emma from her channel Emmy, they both read this. I think a number of people, I think it was one of their book club picks, but they talked about it in a way that made me more interested in reading it, so I think I should read it. So next classic that I am actually most definitely probably going to read this year is Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. This is actually one of my work book club picks, and I am the one who will be leading that discussion, I think, if I'm remembering the list correctly. Maybe, who knows? I have no idea. I'm really interested in reading this because I don't think that there are a lot of classics that are circulating, if you will, written by non-white people. I do find it really annoying that a lot of classics are like, most classics I feel like are written by white people and they're lauded because of them being classics and being written by old white people, you know? So I am really interested in reading a classic that's not written by a white person. So yeah. And I think the subject matter is pretty interesting for Invisible Man, so I will be reading it this year. And then the last book, number 10, The Big Kahuna, the one that is making me feel really intimidated as I hold it in my hands. Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. I really want to read this. I just don't know how successful I will be. It's over 700 pages. I mean, I read books that are over 700 pages all the time. I read multiple last year, so I don't know why the number of pages is really what's intimidating me, but a classic that's over 700 pages, a Russian classic. I think this is a book that I will probably read over a couple of months. I definitely am not going to just only read this because I think my life would be very dry. This is interesting. It says recommended for discussion. I just actually saw a post on Instagram by Carolyn Marie Reads and Emma from the channel Emmy that they're doing a Charles Dickens, Leo Tolstoy debate thing. And it's like 4 years of reading, which good for them. I'm glad for them that they're doing that because I feel like it sounds like right up their alley. I would never do that though. I've never seen it, but anyway, I think they're reading this year. I think it's like their pick for May and June, so maybe I'll read this with them. That would be cool. So yes, that is The Big Kahuna, the I probably won't read this, so I don't even know why I'm talking about it book. And those are the 10 classics that I really want to read this year, 2021. Will it happen? Who knows? Who knows? But I really hope it does. I really hope that I at least read 5 of these. If I read 5 of these books, I will be happy. So, there you go. Let me know. Are you reading any classics this year? Do you think that I'm kind of taking on a lot with this list? mean, my goal this year is to read 100 books. So this is 10. And then I'm also doing my 21 books that I own for 2021. So that's 31 books right there. And then I'm also reading the fiction books from the Goodreads Choice Awards. I'm reading all of the fiction. So that's like what, another 16 books. So pretty much half of my reading for the year has been decided. And that does not make me feel good. That makes me feel very pressured and a little scared. So we'll see what happens. I want to be optimistic about this. This is something that I really want to do. So fingers crossed that it will happen. So there you go. That is my 10 classics to read in 2021 video. I hope you stick around, subscribe to my channel, like this video. Let's talk about classics in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a new video soon. Bye.